Members, if you could come to the floor. The Secretary will call the roll.
Alquist, Anderson, Berryhill, Blakesley, Calderon, Canella, Corbett, Correa, De Leon, DeSaulnier, Dutton, Emerson, Evans, Fuller, Gaines, Hancock, Harmon, Hernandez, Huff, Kehoe, LaMalfa, Leno, Ted Lieu, Carol Liu, Lowenthal, Negrete McLeod, Padilla, Pavley, Price, Rubio, Runner, Smidian, Steinberg, Strickland, Vargas, Walters, Wolk, Wright, Weiland, Yee.
Members, we have a quorum. Senator Leno, are you... Members, when last we met, we were in the first extraordinary session, and we still are. And we are going to move to item 4. And Senator Leno is prepared to present. We'll take up item 4, close the first extraordinary session, take up the on-call items, and then say goodnight. So we're going to item 4 on the first extraordinary session, the blue pages, and the Secretary will read.
Senate Bill 8 by the Committee on Budget and Fiscal Review enacting to redevelopment and making appropriation therefore to take effect immediately. Bill related to the budget.
Senator Leno.
Madam President, thank you for the presentation of SB 8. I defer to my colleague, Senator Lowenthal.
Beg your pardon. Senator Lowenthal is going to present the item. Senator Lowenthal, go right ahead. The bill's been read.
Thank you, Madam President. Last year, just after we had completed, just before we took our break, I guess in the special section session, it was 26 and 27, both the elimination of redevelopment and the bill that would reconstitute on a voluntary basis by agencies. We said that we would create before the end of this session, when we would come back, we would create a bill to implement and to make it easier or just to implement the recreation of redevelopment. At that time, I visited all the redevelopment agencies in my district. I spent time with about 9 different redevelopment agencies in 9 cities. And the one word I heard over and over again was, as much as they disliked what we did, please give us flexibility. We will reconstitute if we have flexibility. And so what this bill does is to set an overarching theme of providing the ability of agencies to reconstitute by providing flexibility. It does it by extending the time by 5 years that redevelopment agencies have to pay back the money that they previously had borrowed when the state, from their housing fund, when the state had taken that money or requested that they provide us that money both in 2009 and 10. Since we're now again taking more money, we're going to give them an additional years because we have taken the resources that they have. Also, to reconstitute, agencies needed to have their local governments provide some of the resources so that they can pay the $1.7 billion that we're requiring them this year to do. This bill gives the agencies additional 2 years to pay back their cities because they're borrowing that money. The bill also provides clarifies what the cities and the agencies were so concerned about, the very narrow definition of what is a loan, and that they had loaned their agencies a tremendous amount of money over the years.
Senator
They needed
Lowenthal, just one moment.
clarification.
Members, can we have a little order in the chambers and allow Senator Lowenthal to finish presenting on the bill? Senator Lowenthal.
So we listened and we clarified that to what the agencies wanted in terms of what that definition. Agencies also wanted help in their letters of credit, or to make sure that we provided that. So it's not a fix for any one agency, but what we heard today when it was heard in the Budget Committee was that while agencies and the CRA and cities and redevelopment agencies really would have preferred the old system, that this provides them the flexibility, and they are very, very appreciative and supportive that given the circumstances that where things are, that this is a bill that provides them the flexibility, and they were very appreciative of it. If we're concerned about our cities having, and our redevelopment agencies having the ability to function, this is a bill that provides them the flexibility to do that. I urge your aye vote.
Debate or discussion, members. Senator Huff.
Thank you, Madam President, members. I wish we weren't here dealing with this bill. I wish we had listened to the cities and the redevelopment agencies in the first place when they said all the consequences that would happen if we killed redevelopment. I wish we had adopted that win-win situation, which the redevelopment agencies and the cities worked out, where we could score the $2 billion in a way that helped them without hurting them. But we didn't. The action this body took was to execute redevelopment agencies as we know them. And predictably, what happened was we ended up with problems with contracts that agencies were entered into. We dealt yesterday with Nellis, situation in Whittier. We're dealing now with others that have contractual problems, letters of credit that can't be consummated because we screwed up our local governments. Now, having said all that, I do support this bill, not because I like it, but it's because it does give some flexibility to the local government. And they need flexibility because we put the hammer to their head and we made it impossible for them to jump through all the hoops, to mix my metaphors, of what we were requiring of them. So it's not a perfect bill, but it's better than what they're facing without it, and I ask for your aye vote.
Members, further debate. Senator Wright. Senator Wright.
I have a great deal of respect for the work that Senator Lowenthal put into this bill. But members, I think it's important that you understand, a couple of years ago, we took some money from redevelopment agencies. That matter is also in court, and we may well lose that. What Senator Lowenthal is doing is attempting to put an extension to repay the money that we took last time. We've heard a number of bills in the last couple of days trying to repair the damage that we did this time. So yes, we have an issue in San Jose where the city could well lose some $90-some-odd million because when we were crafting our bill, we didn't take into account that their contractual relationships were not going to be predicated on whether or not we cut their head off. So San Jose is now in the lurch. San Jose is not alone. We made a carve-out for the city of Whittier. Frankly, there's nothing wrong with what we were doing with Whittier. That project exactly does what redevelopment was intended to do. But now we had to come and make a carve-out for that project. There are at least 15 other projects across the state that equally need a carve-out. Some of them may be land owned by the state. Some of them may be land owned by a county. Some of them may be Air Force bases and federal land. Some of them may be all kinds of different things, but they're equally meritorious projects. Members, this bill that we did, okay.
Members, can I ask for a little order on the floor? Conversations outside, if you will. If I'm having trouble hearing Senator Wright, I know we're in trouble. Okay. Senator Wright has the floor.
The bill that we did is currently being heard by the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court has said that they will give us a decision in early January. In one of the few times that I might agree with the Department of Finance, they've indicated that they're opposed to this bill and any others because they don't have the ability to determine, after the court does what it does, exactly where we're going to be. So we're passing laws today that could completely be overturned by the action of the court. Should the court come back, and as I pray that they will, determine that what we did is illegal, then you won't need this bill. If the court comes back and says that what you did is legal, then you're going to need a whole lot more than this bill, because this is just the tip of the iceberg. Again, as I said in the committee the other day, you know, sometimes when you come to realize that you're in a hole, you might want to just quit digging. You might want to just quit digging. This is an effort by Senator Lowenthal, and I respect the work that he put into it. But today I'm not going to support anything, and it has nothing to do with the work or the honor that he put in, because frankly I believe that he sincerely believes that we need to do something about redevelopment. Members, we've probably squandered several $billion in the way we got rid of the redevelopment agency. As I mentioned the night that I voted against it, we took a 70-year-old program that has provided thousands of jobs and billions of dollars in revenue to the state, and we chopped it off with nothing even as much as a public hearing. It was a part of a trailer bill that was never heard in public. Oh, is that? Okay. So I respect the work that went into this bill. As a policy matter, under a different circumstance, I would be an aye vote. There were solutions that were available to us that would have allowed us to have scored the money. We chose to go another way. We chose poorly. Now we're in court. We should wait until the court tells us exactly where we are. And when we determine that, that will allow us to then make rational decisions. We are today incapable of making a decision about redevelopment absent knowing the status of where it's going to be in January. And on that basis, I'd ask for a no vote.
Senator Blakesley.
Just a quick clarification from the floor jockey. Trying to understand, has the League of Cities written a letter in support of this measure? Has CRA written a letter in support?
Senator Lowenthal, will you take a question from Senator Blakesley? You may address
in the hearing, and there were many members in the budget hearing today. We did not hear the league. We heard cities come up. There's one city that actually has formally taken a position. Other cities came up and said because of the court case and CRA, they're not going to formally take a position, but they were very, over one, they reported, people representing the cities said, reported that up to, that of 50 cities that they were representing, they were all supportive of this measure. They were not going to take a formal position because they think what we had done was illegal before. CRA represented, Mr. Jones was there and said the CRA finds this a very flexible bill and one, if we move forward, they can support. And they were supportive of the concepts in the bill. They were not going to take a formal position because they were in litigation, but they came to the meeting to testify that they were supportive.
I think you've answered the question. Anything else, Senator Blakesley? Any other discussion on the bill? Any other discussion? Senator Lowenthal, you can close.
The reason why this bill is so needed, we listened to Senator Wright, was that with the courts making a decision that if we are upheld, the state, if we are upheld in our position, and we knew that we were going to be in litigation before, all cities will have to start making payments the first week, second week in January. Without this bill, of the cities that testified, approximately half of them would not be able to make that payment. This bill, if they lose, will enable them to continue. I urge an aye vote.
The Secretary will call the roll.
Alquist. Aye. Anderson. No. Berryhill. No. Blakesley. No. Calderon. Aye. Canella. Corbett. Aye. Correa. No. De Leon. Aye. DeSaulnier. No. Dutton. Emerson. Evans. Fuller. Gaines. Aye. Hancock. Aye. Harmon. No. Hernandez. Aye. Huff. Aye. Kehoe.
Aye.
Aye. LaMalfa. Leno. Aye. Tedlew. Aye. Carolou. Aye. Lowenthal. Aye. Negrete McLeod. Aye. Padilla. Aye. Pavley. Aye. Price. Aye. Rubio. Aye. Runner. Smidian. Aye. Steinberg. Aye. Strickland. No. Vargas. Aye. Walters. No. Wolk. Aye. Wright. No. Wyland. Yee. Yee. No. Canella. Aye.
Call the absent members.
Harmon. No to aye. Dutton. Emerson. Evans. Fuller. Aye. LaMalfa. Aye. Runner. Aye. Wyland. Wyland. Aye. Blakesley. No to aye. Emerson. Aye.
Ayes 30, noes 8. The measure passes. Members, that concludes the file in the extraordinary session. We still have. I misspoke. Item 3 is still on call. Members, we're lifting the call in the first extraordinary session on file item 3. File item 3. The Secretary, call the absent members.
Alquist. Aye. Blakesley. No. Correa. De Leon. Aye. Smidian. Strickland. Smidian. Aye.
Call the absent members.
Strickland. No. Correa.
Okay, that is ayes 23, noes 16. The Assembly amendments are concurred with. Members, now that completes the file. At this time, the regular extraordinary session will the extraordinary session will stand in recess and will reconvene in regular session. In regular session, we have several items on call. Yeah. Members, I'll go down in the order in which they were put on call. And members, we still have the consent calendar. Members, we're lifting the call on all the remaining items. We're starting with file item 99. File item 99, it was Senator De Leon's item. The Secretary will call the absent members.
Alquist. Aye. Leno. Aye. Carolou. Aye. Lowenthal. Aye. Smidian. Vargas. Wyland. Smidian. Aye. Wyland. No.
Ayes 27, noes 12. The measure passes. We're at file item 107. File item 107, it was Senator Padilla's presentation. The Secretary will call the absent members.
Carol Liu, Lowenthal, Rubio, Smidian, Wolk.
Call the absent members.
Carol Liu, Lowenthal, Rubio, Smidian, I, Wolk.
Call the absent members.
Carol Liu, Lowenthal, Rubio, Wolk.
39. Who's missing, guys?
Call the absent members.
Carol Liu, Lowenthal, Rubio, Wolk.
Members, ayes 18, noes 18. The measure fails. Senator Padilla requests reconsideration. Is there any objection? Ayes 40, noes 0 on the reconsideration. It's granted. We're at file item 93, members. File item 93 by Mr. Dickinson. Ms. Evans is the presenter. The Secretary will call the roll.
Correa, Tedlu, Rubio, Vargas.
Members, that's ayes 15, noes 21. Measure fails. Ms. Evans requests reconsideration. Any objection? Reconsideration's granted, 40-0. And Ms. Evans, what's your other issue?
On SB 474, I request permission to submit a letter to the Journal to clarify the intent.
And both sides have seen the letter?
I believe so.
Yes. The desk will note. We'll take the letter. We are at file item 60. File item 60, unfinished business by Mr. Leno. The Secretary will call the roll.
Saunier, Rubio, Vargas. Saunier, aye.
Call the absent members.
Rubio, Vargas.
Ayes 24, noes 14. Measure passes. We're at file item 134. File item 134, Mr. Strickland is the presenter. The Secretary will call the absent members.
Alquist, Dutton, Emerson, Hernandez, Padilla, I, Price, I, Rubio, Alquist, no.
Ayes 27, noes 9. Measure passes. File item 133 by Mr. Eng, and I think Senator Leno is the presenter. 133, the Secretary will call the absent members.
Alquist, I, Dutton. Dutton, no.
Ayes 27, noes 13. The measure passes. First, we're going to go to today's consent calendar. Consent calendar. Special consent is SCR 20. Secretary, please read. And this.
SR 20, ACR 67, 71, 77, 79, 80, 81, 26, 78, 56, 58, 70, 75, 76, and 82.
Members, the consent agenda is before us. Is there any objection to adopting the roll call? 40 ayes, no zeros. The consent calendar is adopted. Members, we're going to motions and resolutions. Without objection, pursuant to Joint Rule 33.1, Joint Rule 61A13 will be suspended for AB 9A3. This report's been approved by the Rules Committee. Thank you. Next.
That's being referred from Appropriations to Rules Committee. Without objection.
Members, without objection, withdrawn and re-referred to committee AB 391 from appropriations to rules. Oh, okay, there is an objection. Members, let's be clear. We are taking AB 391 from the Appropriations Committee back to rules. It takes 21 votes to withdraw. And Senator Strickland's asking for a no vote. I'm asking for an aye vote. The Secretary will call the roll.
Alquist. Aye. Anderson. No. Berryhill. No. Blakesley. No. Calderon. Aye. Cannella. No. Corbett. Aye. Correa. Aye. De Leon. Aye. DeSaulnier. Aye. Dutton. No. Emerson. No. Evans.
Members, let's listen to the roll call, please.
Fuller. No. Gaines. No. Hancock. Aye. Harmon. No. Hernandez. Aye. Huff. No. Kehoe.
Aye.
Aye. LaMalfa. No. Leno. Aye. Ted Lieu. Aye. Carol Lieu. Aye. Lowenthal. Aye. Negrete McLeod. Aye. Padilla. Aye. Pavley. Price. Aye. Rubio. Aye. Runner. No. Semidian. Aye. Steinberg. Aye. Strickland. No. Vargas. Aye. Walters. No. Wolk. Aye. Wright. Aye. Wyland. No. Yee. Yee, aye.
Ayes 24, noes 14. The bill is referred to rules. One more, members. Several more. Without objection, Senate Rule 29.3b will be suspended for AB 391. Roll call. Again, members, can we substitute the previous roll call? Thank you. We appreciate your cooperation. And next, we are suspending Senate Rule 29.3b for AB 1150. The previous roll call. Thank you, Mr. Harmon. And finally, without objection, Assembly Bill 221 will be given its second reading today. Without objection. Thank you, members.
Madam President, committees tomorrow at 9:30, session at 11.
Members, one more item here. Members, if chairs could pay attention so I don't get anything wrong. At 9:30 a.m. Which committee is this, though? All I have is all of them. Yeah. Committee said. Them all to schedule at 9:30. Okay. Any chairman that is scheduling tomorrow morning, we'd like you to begin at 9:30. So don't worry. We'll take it orderly. Senator Woke, I think you at Senator Wright's desk. Then I'll go to Senator Semidian. Senator Woke.
Governance and Finance, 9:30, to deal with AB 40X.
And the room number, are we starting in?
3191?
No.
112, Senator. Governance and Finance at 112. 9:30 a.m. Senator Semidian.
Thank you, Madam President.
Members, I hope you're paying attention. It's going to be an early morning.
Thank you, Madam President. The Senate Environmental Quality Committee will meet in room 3191. That's room 3191 at 9:30 a.m. tomorrow morning in room 3191. I know we have AB 900 to consider at that time.
Senator Semidian calls environmental quality for 9:30 a.m. and 3191. Session is at 11 a.m., members. Session is at 11 a.m. Is there any other business to come before the House tonight? Senator Steinberg, I believe the desk is clear.
Thank you very much, Madam President. Amidst all of the controlled chaos here today, we actually got a lot of work done, and we have one more day. Depending on the number of bills that will go to inactive by members' choice, we have about 50 measures, we think, left. With committees, if we can get most or all of the committee work, quote, out of the way at 9:30, we'll convene the Senate tomorrow at 11 o'clock. And we will work through without a formal break. We'll have meals and all that. Without a formal break, we'll work through until we finish on a high note. We'll see you in committee and then at 11 o'clock tomorrow. Thank you.
Members, we're at 11 a.m. tomorrow morning.